Hey guys, here to do a book review. The book is Robert Bloch's Psycho. Now, for a long time I thought this was Robert Bloch's first novel, but it turns out he had written a couple before this came out, and I don't know what they are, but I've been wanting to read this book for a long time. You know, I love the movie, and the sequels are pretty good, except for 3, but 2 and 4 I thought were okay. But the book was surprisingly thin for how much I paid for it. I think it was like $10, and very thin. It's only 175 pages, and the font is really big. So, but the book, I was kind of expecting a lot of changes, but surprisingly, the movie follows the book really well. Um, if you don't know what the movie is about, Marion Crane works at a insurance agency, and she also has a boyfriend who she's in love with, and she can't marry because of the boyfriend is paying alimony for an ex-wife, and he works at a hardware store that he owns, and he's trying to pay off debts and stuff. And so basically, this opportunity comes where this guy comes into the insurance agency with $50,000, and she decides to take the money and thinks it's a great opportunity to drive to where her boyfriend lives, Fairvale, that's where he lives, and get the money so they can pay off debts and they can get married and live happily ever after. Well, things don't go quite as planned. She ends up stopping at the Bates Motel, and Norman Bates in the movie, he's like a skinny, scrawny kind of boy. I mean, he looks really young in the movie. Very innocent, good-looking, and very, what's the word? Very attracted to women a lot. Like, you have to feel sorry for him. Norman Bates in the book is a middle-aged man, about in his 40s. He's fat, wears thick-rimmed glasses. He's a big mama's boy, and he has the same sympathy for Norman Bates in the movie, but you kind of don't feel sorry for him as much as you do in the movie. But anyway, Marion Crane talks to Norman Bates, and they talk, and they seem like a pretty nice. They both think they're nice people. Well, Norman Bates convinces Marion Crane, or she's Mary Crane in the book, that she should go back to where she lives, return the money, and, well, he doesn't know anything about the money, but he suggests that she should do the right thing. So she decides to relax everything and take a shower, and then someone comes in and murders her. And in the book, Mary Crane gets her head chopped off, but in the movie, she's like stabbed multiple times. And the mother is the one that killed Mary. And then the sister, Lila Crane, and the boyfriend try to look for Mary, and they have a private detective, and he soon disappears. And then there's a big plot twist at the end. If you know nothing about Psycho, I'm not going to give it away, because when I first saw Psycho, I knew nothing about it, and the plot ending totally freaked me out and surprised me. So if you have not seen the movie, I'm not going to give it away. But the book and the movie are the same, but it's like there's a lot of different dialogue. The dialogue is almost completely different, but the settings and the characters and everything is almost exactly the same. And there's some few added-on parts that were in the movie. Which I think that's what kind of makes the book interesting, because the dialogue is almost completely different. But that's like the best way I can explain it. Almost the book and the movie do not have the same dialogue. It's like I'm trying to tell two people the same thing, but I'm doing it in two completely different ways. You know, like the book tells the same story with different dialogue, and the movie tells the same story with different dialogue. You know, that's kind of what I can explain it. And Norman is very. The book takes place mostly through Norman's head, and Norman Bates is a drunk in this book. He doesn't like to drink, but when he feels upset or anything, he likes to drink. And then some of the book takes place through Mary Crane's head, and then at some parts it will take place through Lila's head, and then Sam's head. I mean, it kind of goes through all the different characters. And but the book, I really liked the book. I read this in 2 days. It was a page turner for me, and it's even for today, it's a very weird book. Um, Definitely, I've never really read a horror book that's like this before. Stephen King has read some weird stuff, but this came out in 1959. So for 1959, this was a really, really messed up book. I mean, I'm really surprised he wasn't met with criticism when he wrote this. Now, there are 2 sequels that Robert Bloch wrote. I believe this was his final book until like 1980, 1981, when he wrote Psycho 2, which it's not. Psycho 2 and the book have no connections whatsoever. The studio, Universal, did not like the book, and so they decided to make their own story. The book is about how Norman Bates escapes from an asylum. That probably almost gave the ending away. Escapes from an asylum, and there's this movie studio that's making a movie about the story of Psycho, like a movie about this, and Norman Bates starts, and people start disappearing off the movie set by the mother, apparently. And then there's one called Psycho House, which is someone decides to reopen the Bates Motel, and people start to get murdered there again. And apparently all the books are really good. I mean, but then again, most of you probably know how Psycho ends, even if you've never seen the movie or read the book. But I highly recommend this to Mr. Wildboy 94. I mean, I remember you saying something about how you didn't like the movie, but I think you'll like the book. It's very different. And if you like Stephen King, you'll like this. But this book, what's different about this and Stephen King is that this book keeps you hooked. It's not like Stephen King where it's 500 pages of boring nonsense and then 100 pages of good. But that's Psycho. Really good book. Definitely check it out if you're a fan of the movie. But I hope you like the book, and I'll see you guys later.